Hey, Amy.
Hey, Melissa, happy International Dyslexia Awareness Day.
Yay. So, October 8th is the day that's known across the world to be the International Dyslexia Awareness Day. And everybody is supposed to wear red on this day. And I'm going to make sure that I put it in my phone so I don't forget to wear
Good idea. Good idea.
it. But, there are also people that say silver is a dyslexia awareness color. So, I think if you're wearing red or if you're wearing silver, as long as you're supporting these kids, I say let's go for it. Show all of our support that we can. Not just the kids, the grown-ups, everybody.
Right. No, I don't disagree with that at all. So we've had a couple of questions on our Facebook page about how to promote dyslexia awareness, either at a campus or with others. So we thought we'd push this pod forward on International Dyslexia Awareness Day, wear it, and so that you would have some things that you could do. So one of the first things we want to do is talk about dyslexia a little bit more. We know it affects 1 in 5, so 20% of your population. You might have a teacher say, "Oh, I've never had a dyslexic student in my classroom." They have, they just probably didn't know that they had one in their classroom because it is a spectrum disorder. It affects everyone slightly differently. Some can be profoundly impacted, while others could be mildly impacted. You see it exist in phonological awareness, in fluency and decoding, and spelling. Those are the major areas of concern, but they can all present themselves in a mild, moderate, and to severe ways, even amongst family members.
That's right. And I think it's important for us to discuss the definition again so that we can all understand exactly what dyslexia means. Dyslexia is a specific learning disability that is neurobiological in origin. It is characterized by difficulties with accurate and or fluent word recognition and by poor spelling and decoding abilities. These difficulties typically result from a deficit in the phonological component of language that is often unexpected in relation to other cognitive abilities and the provision of effective classroom instruction. Secondary consequences may include problems in reading comprehension and reduced reading experience that can impede growth of vocabulary and background knowledge. So I said that word for word because that is the definition as adopted by the IDA Board of Directors back in November of 2002. And it's a very well rounded definition. Amy and I have had a lot of guests on our show. And if you've been listening along, you've heard all of these experts say all of the same things that they agree with this definition that is very succinct with what dyslexia is.
Right. And it holds the test of time. If you think about it, when dyslexia was first recorded in the late 1800s, they were saying it wasn't a vision issue even then. They perceived it as, without the fMRIs, that it was something that was going on in the brain. And they may not have had phonological awareness information, but they knew it had to do with single word decoding and not always due to listening comprehension because they were skilled in other academic areas. So, one of the purposes for sending out a pod midweek, we usually release on Saturdays, is that we think it's important that, especially on International Dyslexia Awareness Day, that we try to promote dyslexia not just today, not just for the 31 days in October for Dyslexia Awareness Month, but do it every day. So, some of the best ways to do that, because we've gotten some questions, hey, what can I do to help promote, either from parents or from teachers, or even some kids might be wondering what to do. I know in some of the districts I've been in that we did the dyslexia for a day simulations. So you just reenact, have your audience, either other teachers or parents, be the students in the classroom, and then you have teachers that are doing things that would be really, really hard. And you can just for 30 minutes sense the frustration that our students might be going through.
This is eye opening, Amy. I mean, I've done this before, and sometimes we had to like hold a mirror up against a picture of a star, and
Yeah.
then we had to trace the star around. And it was shocking how difficult that was. And that wasn't to say that that's exactly what the dyslexic kid goes through. It's just to make something challenging for us in a way that we wouldn't be used to.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. The star in the mirror, that was really, really hard. And then the one to me that spoke volumes is when you went over the word bank words. And so they were symbols written in Greek, right?
Oh,
And
yes,
so they
yes.
said this word means father, this word means mother, this word means book, this word means school. I'm just making it up. It's been a little while since I've done the simulation. And then they have it embedded in a text. And they left the word bank up, but then all of the words started becoming Greek symbols. And you're like, well, this, remember, this letter says this, not to say that our kids see the symbols differently, but they attach meaning to those symbols. It's a little abstract for them. So that's one of my favorite things. So you can get the Dyslexia for a Day simulations. If you write into IDA, I think there's a fee attached to it, and they'll send you the simulation kit that you can do at your district. I believe the Dyslexia Training Institute, when we had Dr. Kelly Sandman Hurley, she has a different Dyslexia for a Day simulation. So both of those are really, really great resources you can refer back to.
I agree.
Yeah. So another thing that you could do, and most teachers do this, but even the students could do this, bulletin board displays of books written by dyslexic authors. So, and because you would think, oh my gosh, they're dyslexic. How are they writing books? Well, Patricia Polacco is a dyslexic, profoundly dyslexic author. She's the author and illustrator of over 50 books. Henry Winkler, with his Hank Zipzer, and I believe he has another series out now too, is a profoundly dyslexic author. And so he creates those books as well. Do you have any others that you can think of off the top of your head, Melissa?
Dave Pilkey, he
Yes,
did Captain Underpants and
Dogman.
the Dog Man. The kids love that. And I actually had a kid tell me recently he loves that it starts trying to write the big word and then it's scratched out
Yeah,
and a smaller word is written. And
that's
I
so
think the kids can relate to that because they know that they want to use these bigger words that they're exposed to and they understand and they know, but they can't spell them themselves. So they can relate to it.
yeah, no, that's perfect. Perfect. When I was before I retired, the district I was in, the secondary kids would do an announcement every day before school started about dyslexia, a dyslexia fact, some famous dyslexics, anything they could to promote that conversation in the school. And you can even do that with the younger kids, have them research a little bit. You definitely have to help them, probably lead them through it a little bit. And little kids, my goodness, they love to make those morning announcements. And so that could be something that they could do as well. And then one of the things I like to do, especially when I first start a new group, is discuss a talent scale and how you're good at areas like Legos or video games or soccer. Well, how'd you get good at doing those things? Because I'm not good at those. Well, they practice it. They're good at, they had a natural ability. And the more you practice, the better you get. And then you talk about, reading and writing, and they may rank themselves kind of low on the talent scale, but how could you get better at something like reading and writing? Because really, it's developing a talent in that too. Well, you have to practice those as well. And then that we might even talk about some famous dyslexics. So, my goodness, Melissa, can you think of any famous dyslexics off the top of your head?
Oh my gosh. Well, you've named a couple of the big ones, Henry Winkler and Patricia Polacco. But I've also heard that Magic Johnson
Yep.
has also been dyslexic. He has actually one of my favorite quotes I actually have on my Facebook page. And he says, all kids need is a little help, a little hope, and somebody who believes in
Oh,
them.
wow. That's a
And
good one.
that speaks to me. And I use that every day when I'm doing my assignments with my students and I'm trying to help reach them with their lessons. I just want to be there to be their help and their hope and believe in them so that they can believe in themselves. So that's a big one for me.
Yeah, no, that's a great quote. I remember, and I don't know if young kids would know who he is, but Arnold Schwarzenegger recently disclosed that he's dyslexic, and it's not because he's a second language learner. he was dyslexic in his original, his home language. So he talked about how he struggled in school when he was growing up. And Jennifer Aniston discussed it as well. Walt Disney and Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison, and I want to say Robert Kennedy was dyslexic.
You know what?
Huh.
Tom Cruise is very dyslexic. I've actually heard recently that he would, when he became famous, he started paying people to read him his lines, and he would just
Mhm.
sit there and memorize them because
Oh.
he could do that. He had such good listening comprehension skills that he
Mhm.
would just have somebody read him his lines because reading was still so challenging for him.
Yeah. Oh,
So.
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know how much I love the Royals. I have heard Beatrice, the Royal, is dyslexic, and she's really big into helping raise awareness over there in the UK.
Yes.
And she's also working with Richard Branson, who's as well. He's created that Dyslexia U.
And I'm looking at her list. I don't think I realized Gwen Stefani was dyslexic, but you know what? Now that I think about it, I do think I remember reading that her kids are. And you think about Gwen Stefani and any of her lyrics, they sound very Lewis Carroll like, who is also dyslexic. And so you listen to like I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna sing, but you listen to any of her music and listen to the lyrics. Yeah, she's got that creative twist with words that only our dyslexic population can come up with.
I'm a big Gwen fan from the 90s
Right, right. That's what
because
I was
I'm a
thinking. All
90s
about
music
girl.
girl. Yeah,
That's what I
I'm
was.
thinking about walking in spider webs.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good song too. That's a real good song. Yeah. No, but that makes total sense when you think about and go into her lyrics sometimes. I mean, maybe they're a little blue at times, but just look at her lyrics and she's totally got that creative spin on her lyrics. But this discussion, we can talk facts and figures with our kids all day long, but they really want to know somebody who's made it. And so pull up the famous inventors, the artists, the singers, the illustrators, all of that to make that connection.
While dyslexia may impact reading and writing development, it doesn't mean that the people are negatively impacted. So there's research that actually shows that people who have to learn to overcome dyslexia, they actually develop more of their brain to the point that they have more abilities to grow creatively, cognitively, and think outside of the box. Isn't that interesting, Amy?
That is super interesting. And I think harkening back to that list of famous dyslexics that we were just talking about, and you can add to it for sure. I think that's a good illustration of that. So to kind of wrap it up, because this isn't going to be an hour long segment, we just wanted to give a shout out to all the kids who go to their dyslexia intervention classes, whether it's, in the school setting or private therapy, but to put out that extra effort and working so hard to increase their reading and writing abilities. They all have a sense of hope, of positivity, and both the parents and the teacher and the child, they all feel that incredible sense of pride when we see the changes that occur with our students. And the students can see that the hard work does pay off ultimately.
Yes, I see my little kids come into my private therapy office every day, day in, day out, and they're happy. They, at first, they might not like it, but they enjoy it after they learn why they're there and they can see those changes and they work hard. They don't complain. They're just amazing little humans. So
Yeah,
I appreciate all of what they do
I do
to
too.
increase their own skills.
I do too. And shout out to those teachers who want to continue to grow and be informed. And shout out to the
Yes.
for working with their kids.
Yes, the parents are the biggest advocate. And I also want to say that the parents know best. They know their child best. And sometimes going through the schools and going through interacting with different administrators and things of that nature, sometimes it might seem overwhelming, but they have to just keep remembering that they do know their child best and they can keep advocating for their child.
So we're going to sign off. So this is Amy.
And Melissa.
And we're the
Dyslexia Duo.
Happy International Dyslexia Awareness Day. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.